I looking, by the way?
I was going to say you look great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody looks good.
You're not just saying that?
I'm not. Trust me. He'll tell you, right? Yes, I'll be very honest.
Yes.
The only thing I would actually do is have you sit a little taller in your seat. Not because, only because you're closer to the camera, you're bigger, you're a little bigger, and if you're sort of slouching, then you look even small. Slouch. I don't mean slouch as far as the bird, I don't know. But you know, just sitting taller in your saddle, it would make you look a little more even with the rest of you. That's my 2 cents. But I think you guys look good. It sounds good. You guys had some good rapport going on between the two of you. Yeah.
Very good. That's good.
But yeah, so far, I mean, the switchboard is going crazy, but I don't know what. We do see, I love the Constitution. That's,
Yeah.
Let me know when it's ready.
Oh, you can see that?
we can see that. We have a wide
Yay!
shot. We have a wide shot on this camera in the middle. This camera here is on Chris, tight, head and shoulders. And then this camera has you two, Manuel and Jordan, both together talking. And then they'll put lower thirds up underneath it.
Troubleshooting audio.
Okay.
Whenever you get a chance, can you tell us, can I restart? Are we restarting or can you let us know where we're
Tell us when we're live again.
No, but if we reshoot everything, then
I'll
restart.
find it.
Okay.
Let us know when we're ready again. Over. Right now, Dick is just like that.
What'd you do, Davion?
So yeah, we'll be starting from the top.
Oh, so they
So that the fresh.
okay, they didn't see any of that?
Starting.
Okay, that was another rehearsal.
Excellent rehearsal. Remember, it's only you. They have a billion
I was actually worried you just disappeared.
Welcome to this special episode of What's New Today at OFA, the podcast where we talk about the exciting things happening at the Options for All Film and Media Studio. My name is Chris Wirtz, the studio manager at the San Diego studio, and I will be your host for today. We are live in San Diego to talk about the latest film titled Futures and is currently airing on Cox. I have the writing team with us here today. Guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Manuel, and I'm part of the media program. I teach script writing.
And I am also Jordan O'Neill. I was the head writer for the script for Futures.
Great. It's great to have you guys here. Jordan, question for you. Can you tell us what Futures is about?
Well, it's kind of a funny story, kind of a dramedy about a guy, a businessman who on New Year's Eve loses his luggage. He travels for business and the airport loses his luggage. And he has, the luggage is really important for him to finish a presentation. And the only way he can get out of the trouble is by calling someone who he used to work with, who's also his ex-girlfriend. And they haven't seen each other for a year. And she's not very happy when he calls her on New Year's Eve to ask for her help. And throughout the special, we sort of see them work out their differences and wonder, will they or won't they get back together? And that's basically what it's about.
Okay, and how does that tie into the title then?
Well, we went through several titles, but we originally, one of the students came up with it because they said, why don't they be a company that works on futures contracts? We didn't originally, we didn't end up using that in the film, but I think the title is perfect because it takes place on New Year's and it's about the future, and it's about the future of these two characters, and you sort of wonder what their future's going to be like. So I think it's a perfect title.
Sounds great. And how did you come up with that story?
Well, Cox basically came up with a list of criteria for the film to be. It had to deal with luggage, and it had to take place in an office, and there had to be a number of at least 2 characters. So there were some challenging moments in that, but in the end, that's how we came up with it, and then we sort of built the story around that.
Okay, awesome. And for Manuel, can you describe the writing process?
Yeah, I think it was short, that's for sure. It was a really nice process because we were doing other projects throughout the semester, and thanks to the Futures project, we were able to kind of grow as a group because we had a single objective, which is coming out with this script in the shortest time possible, and then we did it, and I think that it gave great confidence to a lot of students to actually speak up and give suggestions. So that was just great, and I don't know, I think that it was a blessing in disguise because I was I'm not gonna say irritated, but I was a little bit worried about the amount of time that we had to do this process, but I thought it was, I don't know, it surpassed my expectations. So it was a really wonderful project.
I was worried too because, most films, they take a long time to do, and we only had a few months to get this thing done by the holidays, and we started talking about it in the summer. So I thought everybody was crazy thinking that something could be done in that amount of time, but we ended up doing it, and it's great now. So
Yeah, you guys got it done. And so you had a number of students working, contributing, correct? Do you know how many exactly?
Yeah, we had about eight, and sometimes we would actually have guest writers. So it was just a wonderful process, and since it wasn't a personal project, people were more invested and they can make suggestions. So that was something that worked to our advantage throughout the shoot and throughout the process.
Mm-hmm. And in the end, I think everybody got to be involved in some way. So I think that is something to be proud of, that everybody got to be involved in the project, because that's what Options for All is about. So.
That's a great point, Jordan. And I've had the pleasure of walking in on some of the classes when you guys were preparing for it, and I love seeing just how it was working and the process you guys went through. And for Jordan, what were some memorable moments in the writer's room for Futures?
I think the memorable moments were just sort of laughing about, trying to develop the story, but also trying to keep it within the confines of what we had to do. We still had to, wherever the story went, we always had to think about how the luggage was going to play into it. And I remember saying, but we still have to think about the stupid luggage, and someone said, is the luggage still important? And I said, yes, because that's the whole idea. So there always had to be the luggage, and then we came up with the idea to originally have Minerva the cat, and then they didn't want to work with cats because they're so hard to work with, so the cat became a fish and all that sort of stuff. So there were a lot of memorable moments of just trying to, like I said, have the story, but keep it within the confines of what it was supposed to be. So I think that in the end, that ended up working well.
And as the head writer and having the team, I know Manuel was there working on it with you, but did you feel like that was a challenge, trying to keep you mentioned the team kind of forgetting about the luggage being a central piece. Did you feel like it was your responsibility that was a challenge to continuously bring them back to the point of the...
In some ways, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty focused about that, but we just always had to tell them what the essential part of it would be. So.
And I think also the great thing about this is the students got an opportunity to kind of break the rules, because we did break them, and that's always appreciated, because they told us that we were going to have only 2 characters, so we ended up with 4 characters. And I don't know, there's certain ways where you can go around certain things, and that was fun. I think that also motivated the students to, whether we have a voiceover as opposed to just seeing the person. So there's things that I don't know, I think it gave them a broader vision of what are some of the elements you can play with the story. And I don't know, just the translation from script to screen, that was another thing that definitely like changed. So I don't know, it was a wonderful mixture of things. Like one thing is to read a script, the other thing is to kind of shoot it. So I don't know, I think it was a very interesting process for all of us.
I think it was a good learning experience for everyone, because we all got to read for it. We all got to play the parts. Our acting teacher here ended up actually getting the role, and he was actually the first person to read for it when we did our first read through, so that was interesting. And I think that everybody got to have the experience of when we were preparing for it, reading the roles, and then of course in the end we all got to see how it turned out. So I think that was exciting for everyone.
Did you get a chance to get any of it on camera before you actually went through the process of shooting it? Like,
You mean rehearsals or
things like that? Anything like that?
I think, did we do a couple of?
Yeah, I think
We should talk to the director.
Yeah, I think that Nathaniel and Shannon did a couple of their rehearsals on their own, but
Yeah.
Do you have any memorable moments that you can think of from the writer's room specifically?
There's several, but of course my mind is gonna go somewhere else. But I think just, for me, the biggest takeaway from that was just that I thought that, I don't know, the rules seemed like very restrictive, but after a while they were very kind of, you knew where you were going from. And I think the students, a lot of the students that weren't participating in before, they started talking and they started getting really involved. So those are the things that I actually take away from this process, because I got to listen what are some of the things that they like and dislike. And they actually were able to speak out more as opposed to when they were writing their own projects, because sometimes it feels like it's something more personal that you don't actually want to share. And I think even if it started with being, why do we have to focus on the luggage? It kind of, I mean, we kind of took it seriously and not as serious all the time. So I kind of opened out all of the students, and I cherish those moments, because students that had never spoken in the class, maybe they would write something, but they would actually start speaking. So those are the most memorable moments for me. I can say other memorable moments, but not about, but it was just, it was looking back at it, even though it's been a year now, but it's been a very good experience for me.
mm-hmm.
And then just real quick, biggest challenge faced when writing the script?
The biggest.
From either of you. Yeah.
Well, I think that there was a time when I wrote just wrote one scene, the scene with the phone call between Jesse and Tony, and I sort of sent the script to Pedro and Alex, not really knowing if the dialogue was going to be all right, but I was just I just kind of worked it out in my brain, and I think it did end up changing somewhat in the final project, but it was just, that's part of the collaboration, is to come up with something and then asking everyone else if they think it's all right. But I think we were able to agree on a lot of things.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you both. Thanks, everyone. We will be taking a short break, and when we come back, we will be welcoming 2 students working behind the scenes to make the film happen on set.
I'm in town for a big presentation. It's due after the end of the year. My computer got damaged.
What about the backup?
It was in our luggage and it got lost.
On New Year's? I thought you needed me, but apparently you're doing fine, so I...
Would crying have been any better?
Always the charmer.
Jess, I'm sorry about what happened.
It's midnight. Happy New Year's, my friends.
Yeah, super romantic.
4 tires in a tank full of freedom. Threw my worries out the window, who needs them? Exit sign flying by on a Friday night, going fast. Wasting gas never felt so right. Slowing down feels like we're giving up. Full moon, left foot, can't get enough. Pull off, find the exit on the interstate. Take a 2-way, 2-lane getaway. Drive till my heart starts beating. Windows down, wanna feel that feeling. No, I don't need no reason to get up and get out of this town.
That's disgusting.
They are hard-boiled, sweetheart.
Do you have to dip them in your coffee?
I eat them whole. Helps them to go down nice and smooth.
Jack, you made me want to puke.
Can I get a warm-up while you're at it?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had it up to here, Tom. Up to here.
It's just Jack. What do you expect?
He's been here every day.
He pays, doesn't he?
Sure.
Then I don't really see the problem, Pam.
Of all the revolting, inconsiderate creeps in the world, he's the worst.
I heard that, miss.
Just do your job.
Fine, whatever. This isn't worth it. This isn't worth it.
Honestly, the service around here, all I wanted was a little bit more coffee. Not that difficult, but no. I kiss that tip goodbye if I were you.
You asked for coffee. I brought you damn coffee.
Could I get some lemon with that?
For coffee?
No, for the eggs. It adds a nice tang.
That's it. I hope you're happy as hell, Tom. I quit.
Jack, come on. That's the second one this month.
I think she likes me.
Hiya, everybody. I'm Ty Thompson. I'm the founder and creator of Cookie Arc. What's Cookie Arc, you might ask? Well, it's a business I create some strange-looking creatures, such as Bumblebee, Rattleweasel, and of course Clarkzilla himself. You get shirts like these or more, such as mugs, hats, backpacks, and sweatshirts. Cookie Arc is very special because anybody knows who they are and they can't hide from their shells. Visit cookiearc.com for more. Bye!
Are you constantly furious for not being able to sell your timeshare? Maybe it's time to share. Hi, I'm Brandon York Sr. at Shared Memories.
Share memory!
Here at Shared Memories, we buy, trade, and sell timeshares at a steal.
Shared Memories helped us get a dynamite deal.
It was a very good deal.
Own a brewery, trade it for cash.
Our brewery has been in our family for over a century, and we traded in for a dream trip to Samoa.
Darn tootin'.
It's really fast. Our timeshares move at the speed of light.
We got a call from the SEC and we had to sell our timeshares really fast.
It was a great deal.
What are you waiting for? It's time to share your timeshare.
As I walk through the alley of the shadow of stench, the smell is overwhelming, so I'll rest on the bench, cause I've been trashed and packed and so long that even my supervisor thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed rubbish if I didn't deserve it. Treat the world like a dump, you know that's unheard of. Better watch where you be tossing or you won't be walking, cause the trash might be throwing you in a coffin. Hanging on the back of the truck and the smell is no joke. As I choke, I see myself in the diesel smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna smell like. On my knees in the night, scrubbing trucks in the street light.
Been stinking most my life, living in the trash man's paradise. I hit the landfill once or twice, living in the trash man's paradise. I tossed a mattress and got lice, living in the trash man's paradise. I'm covered in pork fried rice, living in the trash man's paradise.
Power for the stinky, stinky for the power. Smelling every minute, I need to take a shower. Everybody running, but they forget they need me. It's going on in the dumpster and trash is all I see. They say I got a shower, but no one's here to scrub me. If they don't get close, then how can they bathe me? I guess they can. I guess I'm front. I guess they front, but I'm the one who takes out the trash, fool.
I've been stinking most my life, living in the trash man's paradise. My best friends are rats and mice, living in the trash man's paradise. We fight over a stale bread slice, living in the trash man's paradise. Expired food, let's roll the dice, living in the trash man's paradise.
Welcome back to What's New Today at OFA. My name is Chris Wirtz, and we are here with two new guests from our studio. Could you quickly introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Tori Wilson.
Hello, my name is Matthew Gaines. I was the producing sound engineer and a VO for Gerald in Futures.
And what was your role on that?
I was the boom operating for all the filming days that we had done.
Great. Well, we appreciate you guys being here. First question for you, Matt, is so what was it like running sound? And what does that mean on a set? What is running sound?
Running sound means is you take wherever you're located as the sound mixer and basically talk with the cast, boom mic operator, directors, and cinematography areas to see what area of sound is more accepted in the scene.
Okay.
So basically like positioning like the boom for me, but also the wiring, the setup, how the connection is, and basically monitoring the levels of the mics.
So just like making sure that everybody can be heard and that it's all
everything's working correctly.
Yeah, working correctly in the appropriate spot. Great. And how did that apply, or what was that like working on the set of Futures? Was this your first opportunity to work on an actual set?
Yes, that was my first opportunity. I volunteered very quickly when I found out this was happening. The thing is, it was hard my first day because everything was not working at all. We were missing some equipment, the weather was screwing up everything, and then when we finally try to shoot one good scene, it starts to rain. So the entire day was ruined. Plus, I was helping with wardrobe for like clothing, and then it basically took forever because we couldn't find the right shirt. So basically everything took a long while.
But eventually you did get everything up and running, right? And things
Yes.
like kind of flowed a little bit more smoothly thereafter?
Yeah, I think the second day stuff was fine. It started to go a little bit more faster, but on the third, fourth day for me, it was like so smooth because we got used to the environment, used to the cast, used to the directors, used to cinematography. It was like very quick after that.
Yeah. And how long have you been in our program here at
This is my fifth semester. I started December 2020, and I graduated January 19th, 2023. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. And then for you, Tori, how long have you been in the program?
This has been my 2 years here. I'm also graduating this year on January 19th.
And was this your first position on set as a boom operator?
Yes.
Okay, so like naturally, like the both of you, I know COVID kind of put some wrenches into the practical experience. So I mean, I think it's understandable why like what you were doing in the classroom had to work out some kinks there in actuality. And so as a boom operator, what is a boom operator and what was that like?
So the boom operator is a person who either has a boom mic or a boom pole, and their job is to have it where, like my colleague has said, it's more of catching the sound with it all mics and also not being in the camera's frame. It's all about communication between camera and audio.
Gotcha. And so you're the person like you holding the
Yes,
thing?
I'll be holding it more so like this and making sure it's not in the frame.
How long at a single given time would you have to hold that for?
I would say a good, I would have to hold it for the whole entire set. So it was a good 3-4 hours holding.
Without putting it down?
Unless we had like little breaks, but just imagine yourself
over the course of time,
over the course of it for those many days, you're just holding the boom mic or the boom pole, depending on what you're using.
Yeah, and I heard you were, carrying babies around to prepare for it, little children?
I actually had gone to my work before set for a practice with the boom operating. If you don't know, I do work at SeaWorld. I'm currently taking those little tickets and scanning them into our phones. So that day, I didn't have to start program hours until 4. So I took my roommate / brother, my mom, her neighbor, and her granddaughter, and I basically just carried her around the park until I had to go.
And that helped prep you,
Yeah.
build up the muscles.
Yeah, for the moment. And then the other days, after school programs, I would just go down to our fitness court and just do little upper arm strengths, workout, and then go back home.
See, not everybody knows all the preparation that it takes to make yourself physically ready for that. So Matt, for you, what was a memorable moment for you while on the set?
Okay, for me, it's a lot of memorable moments, but mostly is, I think it was on a Wednesday. I believe it was Wednesday. We had like some almost falling moments off the stairs. I think it was on Wednesday.
You almost fell?
No, boom mic operator Tori here almost fell.
Almost fall?
Kind of, because we were always stuck on the, the stairs we go on the outside of a building. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, we had to shoot a scene that was on like the stairs on the outside of the building, and it was such a tight squeeze. We all had to make sure we don't get in frame. So it was like very over the edge, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a tight spot.
And what about for you? What was your most memorable moment?
I think that would be more of an experiential, memorable moment, as far as this is my first actual short film that we're working on as a program, which I think is brilliant. I just wish I was more than what I would really hoped for because of COVID and stuff. But it was really fun. I think I'll take that as a memorable moment of having the real experience in the actual film industry of doing the boom operating, because it takes a lot of practice I've only gotten maybe a couple of days or so with actual practice holding the boom boom pole, so I know how it is versus here's a boom pole and have fun.
Yeah, you got to actually practically see how that is applied onto a real
Yes.
set, which I guess the last question here, in the last segment we were kind of talking a little bit with Manuel and Jordan about just it being a learning experience, which, you know, this whole program, that's what it's about. So what have you learned from that experience of working on the set? And we can start with you, Tori.
I have learned that it takes dedication for the filmmakers, and also lots of communication through the camera side and the sound. Because if you are a boom operator like I was for X amount of days, could be even longer than 6 or a week, you're constantly asking them, am I in frame? Which means, does the camera see the boom mic or the pole?
Okay.
And it was super fun.
And Matt, how about you? What did you learn?
My learning experience is a little more different since I had to work with multiple departments. It was me trying to do everything in the beginning, but then when I got more into it, I found out how to work with my own department and boom to communicate with the other departments way more easier than I first did. That's my first learning experience. Second of all, is the communication with me and my teammate right here during the whole production, because to have a very good audio team, we have to know each other very well before have clashes in the audio.
Yeah, so just your experience being here for the last 4 semesters together has definitely helped you guys gel a little bit more on the actual set. Was there anything else you guys wanted to say? I mean, I know your time here is wrapping up. Is there anything you wanted to close with?
Yes. The last thing I want to say is have a nice day.
All right, you as well. Tori, anything from you?
Like I said before, this program has shown young adults what they can do, and it has been a real experience to work on a first short film in this short time I've been here.
Yeah, and it's been, for me, a pleasure working with both of you guys and seeing you all grow and then hopefully move on to the next stage of your lives.
Yep.
So thank you again, everyone. We will be taking one more break afterwards. We will come back and welcome the actors and directors of our film, Futures. All right. Well, that's...
What do you want, Anthony?
I'm in town for a big presentation. It's due after the end of the year. My computer got damaged.
What about the backup?
It was in our luggage and it got lost.
On New Year's? I thought you needed me, but apparently you're doing fine, so I...
Would crying have been any better?
Always the charmer.
Jess, I'm sorry about what happened.
It's midnight. Happy New Year's, my friends.
Yeah, super romantic.
I'm in town for a big presentation that's due after the end of the year. My computer got damaged.
What about the backup?
It was in our luggage and it got lost.
On New Year's? I thought you needed me, but apparently you're doing fine, so I...
Would crying have been any better?
Always the charmer.
Jess, I'm sorry about what happened.
It's midnight. Happy New Year's, my friends.
Yeah, super romantic.
4 tires in a tank full of freedom. Threw my worries out the window, need them. Exit sign flying by on a Friday night, going fast. Wasting gas never felt so right. Slowing down feels like we're giving up. Full moon, left foot, can't get enough. Pull off, find the exit on the interstate. Take it 2 weeks too late, get away. Drive till my heart starts beating. Windows down, wanna feel that feeling. No, I don't need no reason to get up and get out of this town.
That's disgusting.
They are hard-boiled, sweetheart.
Do you have to dip them in your coffee?
I eat them whole, helps them to go down nice and smooth.
Jack, you made me want to puke.
Can I get a warm-up while you're at it?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had it up to here, Tom. Up to here.
It's just Jack. What do you expect?
He's been here every day.
He pays, doesn't he?
Sure.
Then I don't really see the problem, Pam.
Of all the revolting, inconsiderate creeps in the world, he's the worst.
I heard that, miss.
Just do your job.
Fine, whatever. This isn't worth it. This isn't worth it.
Honestly, the service around here, all I wanted was a little bit more coffee. Not that difficult, but no. I kiss that tip goodbye if I were you.
You asked for coffee. I brought you damn coffee.
Could I get some lemon with that?
For coffee?
No, for the eggs. It adds a nice tang.
That's it. That's it. I hope you're happy as hell, Tom. I quit.
Jack, come on. That's the second one this month.
I think she likes me.
Hiya, everybody. I'm Ty Thompson. I'm the founder and creator of Cookie Ark. What's Cookie Ark, you might ask? Well, it's a business I create some strange-looking creatures. There's Bumblebee, Rattleweasel, and of course Clarkzilla himself. You get shirts like these or more, such as mugs, hats, backpacks, and sweatshirts. Cookie Ark is very special because anybody knows who they are and they can't hide from their shells. Visit cookieark.com for more. Bye!
What do you want, Anthony?
So, last week when he came with Linda, was her name? Yeah. I think he said, oh yeah, tomorrow's my last day.
I had no clue that adaptive rock climbing was even going to be such a big thing in my life. I was picked on because I couldn't do things like stand on my own very well. I would trip and fall a lot. I could walk, but I wasn't fast.
It was spring break of my first year of college, and we decided to go for a hike. I decided to hang from the cliff ledge. I just remember hanging from my fingertips, and then everything kind of just went black. The hardest part of my recovery was going back home and trying to work with and manipulate these different elements that had been so easy in my life.
And I had to give up climbing. I gave up a lot of things because the treatment was so intense. And then when I was talking to my doctors and saying I'm having a difficult time lifting my arms, I'd like to go through some sort of physical therapy, I was told, well, there is no physical therapy. Basically, just deal with it. It's scar tissue.
People in China, they look like disabled differently than normal. They tend to look down on you, looking at you for 10 or 20 minutes, staring at you. That made me feel like something is wrong with me or them.
And I had just dropped out of college, moved to San Diego to pursue rock climbing. At 2 a.m., I emailed the owner of Mesa Rim, and I was like, hey, I think we should start an adaptive climbing program. And at 2:01 a.m., he said, absolutely, let's do it.
Are you constantly furious for not being able to sell your timeshare? Maybe it's time to share. Hi, I'm Brandon York Sr. at Shared Memories.
Share memories!
Here at Shared Memories, we buy, trade, and sell timeshares at a steal.
Shared Memories helped us get a dynamite deal.
It was a very good deal. Own a brewery, trade it for cash.
Our brewery has been in our family for over a century, and we traded in for a dream trip to Samoyed. Darn tootin'.
It's really fast. Our timeshares move at the speed of light.
We got a call from the SEC and had to sell our timeshares really fast.
It was a great deal.
What are you waiting for? It's time to share your timeshare.
At Options for All, we do filmmaking, we do podcasting, editing projects on a documentary.
It means something when you're writing something that you know will eventually be seen by the public and say, this is what I did and I'm proud of it.
Welcome to What's New Today at OFA, the variety show podcast produced by Options for All students.
We have Spotify and YouTube.
I was the camera operator on the feature film Cowbound Boys. Mark.
Maddie, today is a pretty exciting day for you, Miko.
I got a first-hand experience on being able to do this sort of type film with our professional studios. And I feel like I'm being recognized for my abilities.
I'm not nervous, Mom. I'm confident.
I was one of the animators who did the stop-motion sand project video.
I never really heard about a sand stop-motion animation like this.
Climb has screened at the Museum of Photographic Arts and has won several film festival awards.
Drawings to Ponder is the first animated short film completed by the Options for All studios.
We were the official live stream partner for San Diego Pride, and we had 3 teams covering the entire event.
I'm ready for, whatever is going to come, and I'm more prepared for the next future projects I'm going to do.
I'm the head writer on the project Lost Luggage. Lost Luggage is a TV special that's going to air on Cox.
Currently working on Inclusive. It's a podcast that's completely produced by the students. It's an opportunity for them to talk about issues that maybe don't get a lot of attention.
Being someone who's on the spectrum and being able to consistently work and show that someone of my talents can still work on the field and many others. That's been my goal, make sure that we can get everyone's voice out and get the word out as much as we can.
I never had that opportunity when I was working. I was doing media, but nothing like I've done here.
Welcome back to What's New Today at OFA. My name is Chris Wirtz, and we are here on our final panel of the day. Let's welcome our guests. Just want to introduce yourself,
Hi, I'm Nathaniel. I'm the lead instructor of Options for All. I teach acting, directing, and producing, and I was also Tony in Futures.
My name is Jordan Jacobo. I'm a writer, director, actor, and I played Mr. Peña in Futures.
My name is Manuel, and I'm the director of the film.
Great. It's nice to have you guys all here. First question is, I know you guys haven't really worked a lot together before this, so can you kind of describe what was the dynamic like working with the cast and crew on set?
Yeah, I thought, honestly, the dynamic was great, especially considering this is the first film that we made since pandemic. You know, we were stuck online for a long time. This was a lot of our students' first time ever on set, but everyone really seemed to immediately get directly involved in what they were doing, really going at it full force. I felt like the cast, we got along really great. Jordan and Shannon and I would have we would do rapping in the middle of takes and things like that. Just it felt like everyone had a great sense of camaraderie.
Great. Jordan, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Nathaniel said. It was it was good working with he and Shannon during the shoot, but even before working on the characters. We very quickly developed a rapport, and we were able to sort of use that rapport to develop our characters' relationship. And working with Manuel was great because as a director, he doesn't hover or micromanage. He's not a helicopter mom. He pretty much gave us a lot of leeway, and every now and then he would give us sort of guidance. So he was always there to sort of push us in the right direction, but you never... you weren't overbearing at all, which was very nice. It's a nice change.
Manuel, your experience, dynamic, cast and crew?
I think it was a great balance. I mean, we had like the major production. The first day we had a lot of students. By the end, there's only 4 of us. But I think we got both of, it was just, the excitement in the students was just great. I mean, this sounds like a postcard, but I sincerely mean it. Like, the students were stoked about it. They wanted to do their best, and that inspires you to do or to try to do your best. So I don't know. I think it was, I mean, the 2 years in the pandemic were kind of hard because everything was like theory, and now they actually got their hands dirty. So I love that. It was just a wonderful experience.
Awesome. And I know there was another star of the show, Shannon. She's unable to be here today, but you and Shannon kind of played well with each other. Can you let me know, what was it like rehearsing with Shannon?
Yeah, absolutely. Shannon and I felt like, from the beginning we got along very well. And because we had so many scenes together apart from Mr. Peña, we decided it was probably good to just rehearse on our own. So we scheduled, I think, 2 separate rehearsals, just the 2 of us coming either here or outside somewhere. And I felt like we had a great rapport of trying to not just, learn our lines, but really talking through our characters, really talking about, why do you think my character says this line? And trying to figure out what our history was. We, in fact, we together came up with a lot of lines that weren't in the script that we just, thought that, I feel like based on what we've discussed, this would be here. And we talked with Manuel, with Jordan, and tried to get some of those added in. And so I thought it was a really great rehearsal process that allowed us to, build the characters more than just what was written.
I know you've had quite a bit of acting experience. You've acted in plays, almost went to see one of them once. So personally, how did you prepare for the character that you were assigned?
Well, aside from working out for 2 months for a shirtless scene that got cut, I really like to focus on knowing really my character's like objectives, my destinations, where I'm trying to go, and I don't want to focus too hard on knowing exactly how I'm going to say something because I want to be able to play off of what my scene partner does. And so pretty much in every scene, I would act it out slightly differently based on, a slight, difference in what, Jordan would say or anything like that. And so I kind of very much left it open as far as how it worked until I knew, what I was receiving from them so I could respond more, realistically in the moment.
Yeah. And for you, Jordan, this was your first production here at the OFA Film and Media Studios. Everybody else kind of had, in some way, an opportunity to know each other, to work with each other, but you were kind of, brought in. So what was your experience like as a first-timer here on one of the productions?
Well, I should say, even though I'd never worked on an Options for All production, I was actually, a few months prior, I was actually made aware of the organization because a friend of mine invited me to a fundraiser, and they played a video that was so moving, and I said, I want to work with this organization because it was just, I really enjoyed the mission, So when an opportunity came up to audition for it, I did, and thankfully I got the role, and it did not disappoint. I have to tell you, I felt as moved on set as I did that night at the fundraiser when I saw the video of how the organization has affected people and touched their lives and helped them develop as people and as artists. And so for me, it was fantastic. I mean, it really was just a pleasure to work on.
It's amazing. We love hearing that. And then how about, was there anything that surprised you in a positive way based on the experience?
Yeah, I have to say, once I got on set, I was surprised and pleased with how on top of their roles everyone was, because, the director would call for certain things and then people would snap to it and they'd do what they were supposed to do, but there also was very little goofing off behind, behind the scenes. And I've been on other sets and I've run some other sets, and we've all seen time wasted and we've all seen people sort of not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But on this one, I was so impressed by how on the ball everybody was. It was impressive to see, and it's nice to see that everyone not only is taking the craft seriously, but that those efforts went into what I think was a very successful few days on set.
Great. And we like hearing that too. I mean, that's a testament to just the students' focus and their desire to learn not only in the classes, but then also translate that into the real experiences, but also the instructors to kind of setting the tone and preparing them adequately for what to expect and to be on it. So appreciate that. And then for Manuel, were there any changes that you didn't expect to happen, but happened, but it kind of led to the stronger film as a result?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of things we wanted to deal a little bit with with fantasy, or at least where the character wanted to be, and we actually tried a couple of things at the first location that we got, and they didn't work at all. It was just horrible. But I kept that idea in mind, patting myself on the back, and then we tried to do it in the new location when we got the office. So I think that came out pretty good. I feel really comfortable about how we transported that into that. And there's a different type of hat that you need to wear when you're writing something as opposed to when you're directing it. So I think it kind of opened my eyes, and I don't know, it was just a wonderful experience to see how you needed to make it work, and just to teach that to the students that, okay, you're having an issue, but come up with another way of solving that issue. And I don't know, there's something about just being on set that gives you a different vibe, and you're just happy to be there. And I think it translated with the rest of the students. They were just like, they're doing something. Even, I don't want to disregard TA, but even if you're carrying cables, you're like being part of something, of a community. And I think that's what the company stands for. So, was somebody clapping?
Hey, they love it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've heard actually both Jordan and Manuel kind of talked about the students. And Nathaniel, you've worked here for quite some time and have directly involved with them. What was your experience, I guess, taking a step back of just how they did, how well they were prepared, and just your overall thoughts on the way things went as it regard to them and their skills?
Yeah, I think that the students, I was very pleasantly surprised by how able they were to really just get their work done, considering how little on-set experience, they were able to really use the skills that they had learned from online classes and incorporate them very well. I thought that everyone seemed to be very professional on set. Everyone, everyone that was on set, I would give a strong recommendation for them to continue working on set in other places because they really impressed me.
Awesome. And then I guess for Manuel, Nathaniel, what can you tell us about the next film that is set to be produced here?
Yeah, so we've just started working on next semester's short film. It's I guess the prompt I gave to the students was that it needed to be something that showed a scene in two different ways, whether that's through a flashback, time travel, various perspectives, something like that. And so we had a pitch meeting a couple weeks ago, and the idea that we came up with was an interview with a serial killer, inspired by like Silence of the Lambs and Zodiac and some films like that. And so from there, Manuel has been working with a team of students to be the story team and actually write out what's going on.
Yeah, and right now we're just pitching ideas about how do we go about that, how can we be subtle, and those types of things. Right now we're thinking about having 4 people that actually are the core team for that story, and then like I said before, visiting screenwriters or visiting people that can just pitch ideas, because I think sometimes it can get stale if it's just the same person and somebody can just throw a monkey wrench. It could deflate everything, but at the same time, it could also elevate the material. So that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what it looks like to move a film through the studio. I mean, like this last one we kind of mentioned before, this Futures was very much rushed. I mean, it got done, but go ahead.
But I do think that it was very helpful what Jordan said about them like having this shorthand with each other, because sometimes I would suggest things, oh, why don't you try this, or we need this. And it wasn't like, we didn't have much time for them, like, okay, let me think about it. It was just them like being on their feet, and I really appreciate both of you just playing with it. And it was just, I don't know, I didn't have to worry about that. It was more about like the logistics, and I don't know, it was just something that when you don't have something to worry about, it just helps so much. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys.
Jordan, we always have productions coming through, so I don't know, could you see yourself coming back to OFA and being on another one?
Well, I got to say this, the concept that you pitched sounds fascinating to me.
All right, you're the serial killer.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I want to, what's it called? Explore new characters, and that sounds fascinating. And I mean, what's more interesting than playing a serial killer? So I'm your guy. And I work for peanuts, so I'm all set.
Well, that's all we can afford.
There you go. It's a perfect match, I think.
All right. Well, awesome. Yeah. It's great having all of you guys here on the set. Look forward to continuing the work that we do together.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We want to thank everyone for joining or turning into our special episode of What's New Today at OFA. We want to thank the students for working behind the scenes who made the live stream possible, and thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everybody.